Little Miss Annie. If you had have asked me about her before she was buffed, I would have said that she is not great and probably shouldn't be someone you're maxing. I have been lucky enough to pull her post-buff. Uh, I pulled her a few months ago, and I decided to make a rough guide on her. So this is going to be broken down into about 4 parts. The first part is me going to be going through her skills, testing her out, all of that. Second part will then be where she's useful, testing her, showing her in the places that she shines the most. And then I'll go over her downsides, and then my final notes. So to start off with, I will show you her build. It's not insane, but it's also not really bad, I hope. Somebody's going to roast me in the comments, guaranteed. I have her in Savage for that extra ignore defense, and basically I've just gone for a damage build with a somewhat decent amount of speed, and that bit of accuracy was just a bonus. I didn't actually try and go for it. We just got some nice rolls and some stuff. But the reason as to why Little Miss Annie is so good is the fact that she just does so much damage. Especially with this A3. I have her in cracking roots at the moment because I used her in arena. Blessings wise, if you were to get a 6-star, you could put her in crushing rend, or even if depending on where you're using her, you could put her in soul reap. Cruelty probably wouldn't be recommended. I'd recommend more of a damage dealer one. I mean, if you really want to, you could put her in polymorph, but then again, needs the accuracy for that. But basically, Little Miss Annie is a single target nuker with the ability to destroy a ton of enemy max HP. This passive is actually insane, and so is this one. So I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna show you her off in the arena. So we will change our team. We will just go put Little Miss Annie in here. Let's see, who do we want to put in today? Put in a Lydia. Why not? If we get the first turn here, then I can show you just exactly how good she is. Okay. Let's get the first turn. There we go. So the A3 is the hardest hitting ability she has, and if we use it on Arbiter, it did 171,000. And keep in mind that it will hit twice if they have higher max HP and higher defense than her. So that is great. Get rid of Thor, and Armand's is gone. I suppose I should probably read you guys her kit. Alright, that's probably a good idea. So her A1 is a 3-time hitter. Each hit has 50% chance of placing 100% heal reduction and 60% decreased defense, which is really good, because that ties in with her passive. A2, it's a 2-hitter. Before attacking, it places increased attack on her and ignores 25% of the defense. It also gives her a perfect veil and gives her a turn meter fill. Her A3 attacks one enemy. It ignores 25 defense and destroys max HP by 25% of the damage. And if they have higher defense and max HP than her, she'll hit again, and giving herself a revive on death if she kills an enemy. Her passive, when revived, she counterattacks basically and gives her a shield and a turn meter fill. And then this passive, each hit has a chance of decreasing the turn meter by 10%, and it destroys target's max HP by 10% of the damage if they're under heal reduction or decreased defense, and heals her if the enemy is under heal reduction or decreased defense. So that is why she's so good, is mainly the passive and the A3. I have her fully booked because when she's not fully booked, the cooldown on this is 6 turns, which is a long time. And this goes down to a 2-turn, which is nice. There are not many abilities in the game with a 2-turn. I can think of probably a few that are on nukers as well. Okay, so let's choose something a bit more. Let's go for this team. So we get the first turn again. I'm just using the Kage for the stun because Little Miss Annie sometimes isn't fast enough. Alright, so we go in here. Now, yeah, we take out Lord Shazar, get that revive on death. Might as well go for a turn meter boost. Place increase accuracy on ourselves, just in case. Alright, so Marisha's got somewhat decent defense, and bam, we smacked her for 80k. Lydia saving us there with the revive. Oh, the revive denial. So, here we go. Probably should have put Mikage in her second form there. That's an easy team. You know, let's go this team. Why not? Kill him before Valkanos gets us. Sorry, Volcanos, not Valkanos. Stun everyone except Alice. Yeah, I know we're taking a ton of damage. Let's see if Little Miss Annie can destroy the stone skin. Ooh. Yeah. There you go. With the 3-star Cracking Roots blessing, she got rid of the stone skin. Also because she hit twice. And dealt a decent amount of damage. Alright. Fear Valk, please. Now get rid of Valk. And then we gotta get rid of Volcanos. We'll decrease defense again. I'll get rid of Arbiter actually. There we go. So you can make single target nukers work. Here is a very good, if it works well, this would be a very good example of why I like Little Miss Annie, and it's purely for the fact of Ultimate Death Knight. Now he is in Stone Skin, which is actually really annoying, but it'll help demonstrate what I'm trying to show you, so that's great. So you have Ultimate Death Knight, he's in Stone Skin. Almost always will he have higher HP and higher defense than your nuker. And because this hits twice, we can go for Pythion. The first hit hits UDK, second one kills Ultimate Death Knight. Kills Pythion. We get our buffs stolen here. It's not good. Block active skills on Armans. Nope, we got polymorphed. That's annoying. But we should be able to take him out here. I'll use the A1 just because. And yeah, Sun Wukong is gonna get rid of us. That sucks. Yeah, but it demonstrates it really well. Here we go. This is another team that could be quite difficult. So Little Miss Annie starts with a Fear, but Mikage cleans it off. We are going to try and get... Or... No, we can stun. I'm just trying to think of... Armand's is going to cut in line. So we'll just try and get our stuff out while we can. Oh, buff removal. Alright. Just going to get rid of Armand's. I'm using her A2 so she self-buffs. I'm going to try and sleep Shuzen. Worked. Block active skills on Duchess. And we're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to use her A3 on Taurus, trying to kill him. And there we go. Taurus, generally one of the tankier nukers in the game, and he was down with a hit. Block active skills, yes, that's fine. We'll put her in a first form. Do a bit of ally attack. And as you can see, her A1 isn't super good with the ally attack. But if you can have decreased defense and weaken on, or decreased defense and hero reduction, it works really well. Here we go. Bam. 27k on one hit of the A1. So I think we'll test her out in a bit of Live Arena. Live Arena is very hard to test her out in, just because you get a lot of her being banned or someone else being banned. But I'm gonna basically do that, choose that arena team that I just had of Arbiter, Little Miss Annie, and maybe I'll choose a few others. I'm gonna have to have backup nuker here, just because that's how Live Arena works. So my backup nuker is going to be the Rat, because hopefully we can get him to ban the Rat instead. So they choose Armand's, we straight away go Arbiter, and then I'm going to choose the Rat just because he seems to be quite popular. I have not seen anybody using Little Miss Annie in Live Arena in a long time. Alright, Little Miss Annie, we're going to go for Lady Kimmy here. Give us a bit of turn meter. They got a Gaius. I'm going to choose Alva. We're going to get rid of Armand's because he'll be a problem. The reason I chose Alva is because she is in a high resist build, so she'll be able to deal with the Gaius pretty well. So they got rid of the Rat, so it's just Little Miss Annie. And this is where I can show sort of one of her weaknesses, which is the fact that she's a single target nuker. And although she hits really hard, it's only really hard on one person at a time. Someone like Rhodos is better because of all the extra turns. Let's get rid of Duchess. We're fine with Gaius because we got block debuffs. Although we may not be fine soon. Alright, so as much as I want to get rid of Pythion, I'm going to have to get rid of Gaius. I thought they would have been faster. That's fine though. We seem to like lap them real hard. Okay, we won't be able to kill Pythion here. Yeah. We can do that again. So Mithrala's gonna cleanse. Can Kimmy... No, he's gonna revive first. That's fine. Alright, so we got our block debuffs up at the moment. We can get rid of Duchess again. I'll let Gaius have a turn. Buff strip. Block debuffs again. Alright. Increase attack. Gaius is so slow, so can we take out Pythion? No. His defense is quite high at the moment, and the strengthen did not help. Alright, Arbiter's gonna get bombed, which is annoying. gonna bring back little Miss Annie. Yep, Arbiter's down, but we can get her back. So as long as we keep killing them as they revive, we're good. Yeah, this Pythion's insane. I mean, the slowly destroying his max HP really helps as well. See what we can do here. Not much, I don't think. Yeah. Alright, we're bringing Arbiter back now. Pythion's gonna revive. No? Thought thought it was on a 4-ton. Little Miss Annie. There we go. Pythion's gone. Yep. Mithrala resisted that. Alright. So there we go. So there are really only two ways you can get a single target nuker to work everywhere, and that's either having a really fast team around them like I do with Elva, Kimmy and Arbiter, or to have ally attackers. I mean, you could also control the entire the team the entire time. Let's try one more, see if we can get a better matchup. That one was fairly simple, it was just quite tanky. We want something that's a bit better. Maybe we get to see Little Miss Annie's counterattack this time. An ultimate Death Knight wouldn't be bad. We can test that out. Come on. Here we go. We got an opponent. Who's he gonna pick? Harima. Arbiter, and we're gonna go the rat again. And the best thing is Little Miss Annie self-buffs, so you don't even need to have increased attack with her. Whereas if I was using my other team, I'd have to choose Raka most of the time. That's Rotos and Siphi. That's fun. Little Miss Annie probably won't be able to take out Rotos just because he's got low health. I mean, her A2 might. We'll see. So because they got the Siphi, they're probably going to be a faster team. Who else have they got? Lazarus. So for this one, I'm gonna bring... Yeah, I'll bring Alva again. I'm gonna get rid of... Siphi. There we go, Alva for the aura. We got the rat this time, so it's gonna be a quicker battle. Alright. So here we go, we're bombing everybody, but Mithrala's gonna clean it off now. No, she did not. Well, we can kill Mithrala. Ooh, didn't. Oh, she's got no increased attack, forgot to self-buff. That's fine. I do not know why they did not use Mithrala's cleanse. Very interesting. This won't kill. Nah. Close though. So there we go, got myself a small reward. Yeah, so we're on to like some of the major downsides. And I'm going to start off with this being conditional on both, both higher defense and higher health can really ruin things sometimes, because if we go to Shogun, I think it was stage 20? We'll go stage 19 just in case. Right? We throw Little Miss Annie in. And I will show you, just open with this. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch the entire thing. I just wanted to show you. Oh, it hits twice. Okay, so lower stages of Shogun, it does not hit twice. And also in some Hydra, it will not hit twice. So that is a bit of a problem. I think in Sand Devil as well. Because her health and defense has to be higher, and as you can see, her defense is not that high, but a lot of early on bosses don't actually have more than 2000 defense. Like Hydra, I think on hard rotation, out of all the heads, Mischief, wherever it is, Mischief won't get double hit. Torment, it depends. Blight won't. But Wrath and Suffering will. And then on Brutal, I think it's everything but Mischief again. So it depends what sort of defense numbers you have. But if your defense is higher than, what, 2000, then it's probably going to be a problem. As well as the fact that she's single target. You know, she doesn't have any extra turn capability like Rhodos does, which is what really lets her down. If you're in arena and your enemies are just as fast as you and you don't have any control, it's quite hard to justify using her sometimes. Like in my arena team, I usually use a double nuka sort of control build. I recently pulled Timid, so I'm messing with him. But typically, I use Trunda and the Rat as my nukas with Arbiter and Kimmy. So we'll do one more. Hopefully this Ultimate Death Knight isn't in Stone Skin so we can really see what her A3 can do. And he isn't. So we'll just go into the stun because I really want to show something off, which may or may not work. Alright. We got to get rid of Lord Shazar. So first hit kills Ultimate Death Knight, and he didn't have higher than 2000 defense. Interesting. That's actually really interesting. Why did he not? That's really low defense for an Ultimate Death Knight. I'm confused. Because he had higher health, didn't he? Yeah, he took 70k damage. Interesting. And then yes, her best use case is in Doom Tower. So we go to hard Doom Tower. I'm not going to do 110 because it'll take too long. But stage 50. This is the team I use. Now Little Miss Annie is in here, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll take this relic from Ninja with the... Actually, that's not the right one. It's supposed to be this one. Basically, every critical hit destroys the target's max HP by 20, or up to 20. Yeah, so I use this sort of configuration. Now, you could argue that Rhodos is way better for Scarab King, and he is, apart from the fact that Little Miss Annie is Void, so she doesn't have to deal with weak hits on this rotation. So I'm gonna skip to the boss, and then I'll show you what she can do against it. Alright, so we're on to the boss here, and I'll just show sort of what she can do. Right, so Ninja with his ability, the relic, can do that much. Little Miss Annie with her A3 does about the same amount, which was about 3-4% of the total health. Now Ninja takes a dive here. That's fine. It's meant to be like that. I know it's a bit funky. He did steal one of our block debuffs, which sucks because it means no more decreasing max HP for a bit. We'll go increased attack and increased defense on everyone. Do that. So Ninja hopefully gets decreased defense. He does. And that ability kicking in again. Little Miss Annie on the A1 did a similar... Look, she did a little bit less because she's not doing a ton of damage. So that should be everything from that relic. Now if you were to put that relic on her, it would be absolutely insane. And there we go, we got another little bit. She's great at just chipping away at the boss. I was trying not to shield, but I probably didn't even need to. Yep. She's gone, but she's back, and passive worked again. So that's great. Alright, so A3, and there you go. Absolutely destroyed the shield with that. Because what happens is her A3 destroys max HP normally, and then you also get the extra 10% on top of it from her passive. Which is absolutely insane. If you can get decreased defense or heal reduction on the boss while you've got the A3, it works out really well. Now we don't have any decreased defense or heal reduction on at the moment. Now we do. Little Miss Annie, A1 again. Alright, Elva Cleanse. Obviously this is only stage 50, so it's not insane. More decreased defense, there we go. Can we get our A3 back? No, but we got our A2. And yeah, that's an absolute ton. Obviously we probably didn't need Ninja, I could have got him out of the relic. But there we go. So Little Miss Annie doing a similar amount of damage to Ninja, even though Ninja's doing the enemy max HP with the HP burns. So her damage against the Scarab King is actually really high. And this is where she really shines, is Scarab King. Especially if you can manage to get that. I know it's an epic gemstone, but if you were to put this on her, she would go much, much better. And I would, but I'm too lazy, so won't do that. And recommendations gear-wise, just build her in a Nuka build. She doesn't need a ton of health, doesn't need a ton of speed, or you want her to go decently fast. The only other stat apart from damage stats that I'd say you probably want is the accuracy, and even then she doesn't need a ton because usually you got someone else to place decreased defense. But yeah, onto sort of my final thoughts and notes about her. I think that she is like just a really good single target nuker, and even better in Scarab King. But there are quite a few downsides to her, with mainly using her against Hydra and bosses with low defense. Just because that A3 doesn't hit twice against them, it can actually cause a ton of damage loss. For example, I used her in Hydra. It was only a run on a hard. I hit the Head of Mischief that was downed 2 times. Oh, sorry, not 2 times. I hit the Head of Mischief that was downed with the A3. It only hit once, but it hit for 500k. If I had have hit twice, it would have hit for 1 million. So that is where the passive, the conditions, both conditions can really hinder you. Another example would be early on in sort of Shogun, Sand Devil if you're using her there. I probably wouldn't just because she hits so many times. Fire Knight is also a place where she'd be really good. I haven't gone and tested her there because I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. The 3-time hitter with heal reduction and decreased defense on the A1 is insane. Actually, I did use her in Fire Knight. I don't know if I've still got the team active, but there was a tournament for Fire Knight. I think it was special tournament, undead only. No, I do. I use her in my hard Fire Knight as sort of just to help clear the boss. Now I am on stage 4. I probably should push a bit, but yeah, she just clears the boss with Ninja while everybody else is focused on freezing. It actually works really well. She ends up doing a ton of damage, and the heal reduction just helps if it were to get a turn. Sorry, if it were to get a turn, which it doesn't if my team works correctly. It's 99% run. But yeah. Also, let me know if there is anybody else you see here that you want to guide on. I recently pulled Hefrak. He's in a whatever build at the moment. But yeah, if you want to see me do a guide on any of these people, please let me know. I'm looking to do a guide on someone else at some point, but I don't know who to choose. I chose Little Miss Annie just because she is currently one of my favorite champions, just because she's really fun to play, especially in boss content or arena, especially live arena, where you've got someone who's got a ultimate death knight and someone else that's tanky, and you can just take them both out with one ability. It's actually amazing. So yeah, let me know in the comments who you want to see a guide on. Just yeah, I don't care as long as they're someone who's preferably 6-starred. I mean, I can get someone else 6-starred if I have to. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Remember, leave a comment, any suggestions, any feedback. I'm open to that. Anything you want me to do. Remember to leave a like, subscribe. Aiming for 100 by the end of the year. I know it's a big goal. I haven't been uploading a ton recently due to I was sick, but I'm gonna try and get back into the flow of it after I come back from holiday. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.